Welcome back to DSP versus the Internet, episode 73. This is part 2, and we are continuing on with the Ultra member submission. So without further ado, let's see what's next. This sounds decently loud. The Wizard Cafe. Today we'll be dining at a magical cafe. Ah, it has a Harry Potter theme to it. Now, hold on a second here. It has a Harry Potter theme to it, but is it licensed to have that theme? Right? I wonder if they just kind of said, oh, it's the Wizard Cafe, but it's not actually Harry Potter. Because look, like, I don't see anything here that says Hogwarts. I don't see anything here. It says the mystical world of Mr. and Mrs. Lich. Who the hell's Mr. and Mrs. Lich? So it seems like it's not licensed. Harry Potter theme, but not licensed. Props like wands that you can bring to your table. Yeah. I'll get one for self-defense. We used to be able to borrow costumes. It's currently stopped because of COVID. I see. This was 3 years ago, so COVID, we're in the midst of the COVID stuff. Okay. All right. Drinks. Platforms Polyjuice Brew. Again, Polyjuice is an idea from Harry Potter. The Polyjuice potion, you drink it and then you can change forms and shapeshift. So, I don't know if it's really legal for them to call it Polyjuice potion, but okay. A drink made up of cucumber, apple, and spinach. Looks like a magical potion. Now, how did they get that steam? Did they put dry ice in there? I think they did, right? That was dry ice they put in there. So the steam is just underneath. It has nothing to do with the drink. It's sweet and refreshing like watermelon rinds. Who eats watermelon rinds? Wait, what? The smoke would last about a minute. Okay. Butter beer. Now, wait a minute. Butter beer? They actually sell butter beer at the Harry Potter themed theme parks at Universal Studios. So this 100%, this is definitely IP infringement here. They're calling it butter beer. They can't do that. So I guess no one knows about this, so no one's suing them or anything. So what is it? Because that doesn't look anything like the butter beer they sell at the park. Fizzy cream soda with a creamy frosty top and star sprinkles. Yeah, that's nothing. That's nothing like the butterbeer they have at the theme parks. Carrot and beetroot soup with a breadstick that looks like a wand, served in a cauldron, along with a long breadstick. Anso Kamaru says butterbeer is totally different depending on where you get it. In Japan, it tastes like carbonized butter. In New York, it tastes like carbonized caramel. There you go. You dip it, eat it like that, yeah. Jesus. A creamy and wholesome soup with a menacing look. Why, it's so red because of the beets. Our main course has arrived. Whoa! 3 broomsticks fire whiskey half chicken. What? That is the most complicated name ever. Are you kidding? A dish that comes with a fire show. So it self-roasts. You better let it burn off, because if you don't, it's going to taste like freaking lighter fluid. Alright. You can begin to eat once the fire extinguishes. It comes with corn, mashed beetroot, broccoli, and fire-baked chicken in barbecue sauce. Mmm. Probably good. Chicken is well cooked. The chicken is well cooked. The barbecue sauce is sweet and has lots of herb flavor to it. Okay. Oh, this is in Singapore? So this is a Singaporean Wizard restaurant, which is probably why they haven't been sued. creamy mashed potatoes on top. All right. The vegetables are roasted and have lots of butter tastes to them. They probably put a lot of melted butter on them. Oh, I love corn on the cob. A tomato and onion is hidden behind the corn. Roasted. Oh, that's cool. A lot of roasted veggies. That's yummy. We've ordered a tea set, and the drinks for it have just arrived. They're called Green Frog Flexi. Look at this. They're fascinating to watch. The smoke is powered by dry ice in the drink, so another dry ice thing. The bubbles lasted quite a while at 5 minutes. Andre the DJ says, I wonder how they made the mashed potatoes red. They probably added some kind of a puree of another vegetable or a juice. Like they already have beetroot, so maybe they just add some beet juice and just mix it in, whip it in with the potatoes, makes it pink. Look at this. The second part of the tea set has come. And the savories part, which is the final part. Look at this. Wait a minute. Hagrid's English afternoon tea set? You can't call it Hagrid's. You can't do that. Unless they have the licensing, which it doesn't look like they do, you can't call it that. Hagrid's English afternoon tea set. All right. What the? YouTube, man. This app stinks. This app stinks. I didn't back out. I literally just resumed the video, and it backed me out of the video for no reason. Okay. First, we have avocado salmon weaseled with chicken floss on edible magical ladle. There's a crunchy bite with strong smoked salmon flavor. All right. A rather complex flavor, with smoked salmon being the heavy flavor there. Next, we have turkey bacon Quidditch quiche with a cherry tomato. I knew it. That's all she ever does. A buttery, flaky crust that contains egg and bacon bits. Oh! You know the cherry tomato can roll away. Mixed salad around for you to munch on. Looks like they have a balsamic vinaigrette dressing on there. Potato slither in bacon with cheddar cheese. Wow, it's potato wrapped in bacon with cheddar cheese on top. Look at that. It was very delicious. A wedge of potato wrapped in juicy bacon. Now we have a bewitching tuna sandwich. A simple tuna sandwich with a wholemeal bun. I do like the crispy white bits around. The Green Frog Flexi. That's just tea. Yo, first, no. Did you see her initial reaction? Now she was like she was so confused that she realized, oh wait, I'm on camera, and then she's like, oh. Now, I don't think she liked it. Her initial reaction was like, I don't think she liked it. The green tea with something else. This is green tea with something else. There's a little tingly feeling when you drink it. Uh-oh. I don't know if that sounds right. The sweets part of the high tea set. Okay. Raspberry Potter and Mango Nagal Mousse. What? The golden snitch on top is made of white chocolate. It is hollow. Huh. Colors of Gryffindor house, which is yellow and red. Okay. Raspberry and mango flavored together. Interesting. Rock cake. What the hell? Rock cake? A scone with raisins. That's not inal. That's not even a word. Inal. It was quite buttery and crumbly. Looks good. I like scones. Chocolate frog. One of Harry Potter's favorite sweets. Remember the chocolate frogs that would come alive and hop around? Couldn't bite it. It is a hard one. She couldn't bite the frog. A well-tempered solid milk chocolate. She broke her teeth on it. The pumpkin tartlet. Oh my god, there's so much food in this set. Gula Melaka palm sugar on top. Ooh, interesting. And the Hoot Doo macaroons. Hoot Doo? Pretty cute. Looks like Hedwig, Harry Potter's pet owl. It's just a macaroon with stuff glued on it. Look, it's a big one though. It's a big macaroon. A vanilla macaroon, white chocolate decorations. Yum. Yeah, and then they have the Funko Pops. Wait, what's this now? They're not done yet? We've ordered an alcoholic drink that's popular over here. Mr. Lich's Flaming Brew. Look at this. Magical sparks appear when you sprinkle cinnamon powder on it. Amazing. All you're doing is you're burning the cinnamon. So it creates sparks. You sprinkle the spark to your heart's delight. Yeah, so now your drink has so much cinnamon on it, it's disgusting. This drink consists of lime and blue curacao syrup with rum. A sweet drink. There are cakes sitting in the chiller. 3 interesting looking ones. There's the one with the golden snitch. Yeah, each one has a piece from the tea set in it. You already had the snitch, the Goals Seeker. Oh my god, no, seriously. Do you have any idea how much they just ate? They just ate, like, each one of them just consumed like 4,000 calories and they're still going. Oh my god. That's insane. They're still going. They ordered everything the place had. Comes with a cauldron of dry ice for added effect. They love their dry ice here. Be careful of the wings when lifting the ball. Get a white chocolate golden stitch on top of the cake. Yes, I already saw that. The high tea is supposed to be 4 people minimum. That's why there's so much in it. I see. Pretty dessert with effects. Oh my god, look at this thing. Whoa. Mango and milk chocolate mousse with a vanilla sponge cake. Oh my god. That's got to be 1,000 calories by itself. How much are they going to eat? It's insane. It is small though. You pay mostly for the looks. Wonder what this wand can do. Yes, of course. Turn her into Harry Potter. Of course. That was interesting. Way overpriced, but interesting. It's probably a tourist attraction, but again, it doesn't. That doesn't look like it's licensed to me. It just looks like they bought a whole bunch of Harry Potter merch and incorporated it into their place. They could easily be sued and have to remove all that shit. You know, that's why they call it Wizard Cafe rather than like Harry Potter or Hogwarts Cafe. You know, that was interesting though. We haven't seen one of those in a while. That was pretty good. Okay, let's see what's next.
When was the last time you wanted delivery and you actually called a restaurant to place your order? It's probably been a while, and it's thanks to apps like Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. So if a few apps have totally changed the delivery marketplace, they must be making bank, right? Their revenue is in the hundreds of billions, investors have poured billions into them, but none of these apps have ever been profitable. They have a few problems: a complex business model, low margins, but their biggest problem is that they've never really figured out how to pay their labor.
This is from 2 months ago. Okay, 2 months ago, how do these apps really work? Let's find out. This is interesting.
They've been experimenting a lot with that. So much that governments have had to intervene. So all of these problems raise the question, can these apps in their current form exist for much longer? So yeah, I've been reading up on financial statements and legislation, but there was no way I was going to make a video about food delivery without actually delivering some food. Oh. So chaotic. Derek, I'm doing my best. of her lunch. Are my tires flat? No. Making an app for people to order food delivery might seem pretty simple, but in reality, all the pieces that the apps are trying to balance are pretty complex.
I think she's in New York City. It really looks like New York City to me. It could just be another major American city, but it definitely looks like New York City to me, which is probably why she's on the bicycle, because traffic is insane.
These apps work within a four-sided marketplace of the apps, restaurants, deliverers, and finally, the customers. And the apps control each aspect of the marketplace. Historically, they just took a loss and made sure everyone else got paid while they focused on growth. Here's how an order broke down in 2019, as best as we can figure out because they don't release this stuff publicly. When a driver got paid from DoorDash, 49.4% came from the base pay, which is the flat amount they're guaranteed when accepting an order. 12.3% came from bonuses, and 38.4% came from the customer tip. For Uber Eats, drivers got 71.7% from base pay, 7.5% from bonuses, and 20.9% from the
They all do it
tip.
different.
The apps have a few levers they can pull to get closer to profitability. They can charge the restaurants more, but restaurants already have such thin margins that they might not want to keep selling on the apps. And some restaurants are already inflating their menu prices on the apps to make up for the costs. They could charge customers more, but people are already fed up with how much the apps cost. And they could pay themselves less, but they're already not making a profit, so that seems unlikely. So that leaves just one side of the marketplace, the deliverers. All right, I just got to my first order. It's somewhere right over here. Does that work? Now I have to take a picture. Beautiful, thank you so much. Derek, I'm doing my best with your lunch. I'm so sorry. It says you're supposed to deliver it within 3 minutes, which is never going to happen. No wonder like, your DoorDash order is always late. This is why. It's incredible that it's ever been on time. And I'm earning $5.75 for this, just so we're all aware. All right, we just got to Derek's. We are currently...
So when she says she's earning $5.75, she said there's base pay, but there's also tips. So is that just the tip she's getting is $5.75? Is that what she's saying? But then she's going to receive a base pay as well? I think that's what she's saying. So, okay.
11 minutes late. Hi, I have a DoorDash order for Derek.
No tip.
Thank you.
No tip. That was the
reason
base
that the apps
pay.
are able to get so creative with how they pay their employees is that they're not actually classified as employees. Legally, they're contractors.
That's
Gig
right.
workers, 51% of their income on every delivery, on average, is coming from the customer tip.
That is Ryan Green. He's the CEO of Gridwise, a companion app for gig workers that collects data so they can maximize their earnings.
The consumers are being relied on to actually front the pay for the gig worker more than ever before.
The apps wanted to lower costs by paying workers less, but they didn't want to lose workers. So they started encouraging customers to tip more so the workers wouldn't see as much of a drop in pay. Here's how the pay breaks down before and after the changes. For DoorDash, base pay decreased to 48.2% and customer tips increased to make up 51.8% of drivers' total pay.
There's no bonus
Uber Eats
pay
had
anymore.
An even bigger jump in customer tips, jumping
Wow.
almost 30%. So now drivers are getting pay that's highly variable and dependent on tips. But how does that compare to what the apps promised?
We see how like Uber, Grubhub continuously recruit and have a strong marketing campaign to sell the perception that, look, these are easy, accessible jobs.
That's Lihia Walpa. She's the executive director of the Workers' Justice Project, which advocates for the city's gig workers, domestic workers, and construction workers.
What these companies fail to inform and communicate to workers is that these are jobs that do not offer the flexibility that they're promising.
What the companies advertise to potential deliverers is being able to work on your own time at your own pace, but Lihia says in practice that's not how it works.
Companies is incentivizing workers to drive faster, to do more deliveries, to work more hours.
Another piece of these labor issues, especially in New York, is that many of these workers are working illegally as they wait to obtain a work permit in the US. One of those immigrants working on an illegally rented Uber Eats account is Mako Milano, an immigrant from Venezuela who's been delivering food in New York City since he arrived almost a year ago.
Ella me cobraba por la cuenta $150 semanal. Yo hacía todo lo que hacía y ya ella me pagaba mi plata a mí y se agarraba su plata de ella, pues.
So it's not what the person who delivers your food is not who they think it is. Someone basically sets up an account, claims they're going to work for the app, but then has someone else do the work, gives them a cut and pockets some of the money. So they're basically allowing illegal immigrants to make money on these jobs without the company ever knowing it was them delivering the food. Wow. Wow. I will say this. For the most part, when I get food delivered, it's the person who it says it is who's delivering it. Meaning, like, now these apps will have like a name or picture of the person associated with that delivery, and it's almost always the person in the app that I see. Maybe once do I distinctly remember, wow, that didn't totally look at all like the person it said it was going to be, but for the most part, it always is. So there you go. And that's very interesting.
That means he actually earns even less money because he has to pay the person who actually owns the account, a woman named Jessica. Mako's hardly alone. He told us that he started working in food delivery because his friends told him it's the only job you can work without having a work permit.
Yeah.
And the apps are aware of this. A senior policy manager at Uber told the New York Times, Uber supports open access to work, but we have processes in place to help prevent and take action on fraudulent behavior on Uber's platform, and we'll take additional.
How? What could you possibly do? What are they even talking about? How would you verify that it's the same person? Are you sending someone in the car with them? That doesn't even make sense. There's no way they could ever verify that. That's complete bullshit.
Steps if warranted. So these apps already weren't profitable. They have a show of labor issues with figuring out pay, trying to live up to promises, dealing with workers renting out accounts, and then the government showed up. More on that later. Got another order. It's time to go. I have a DoorDash order for John. Thanks. This one was an easier pickup than the last one for sure. All right, we're supposed to deliver within 6 minutes. It says it'll take us 7 minutes to get there. We're doing pretty good on time here. Okay. All right, John is rich. If John doesn't tip, thank you, John.
You did tip. $5.
I'm sorry for everything I said about maybe you weren't going to tip. You did. Thank you. Late last year, New York City became the first place in the country to implement a minimum wage for delivery drivers. But that's not per hour, it's per active hour, which according to DoorDash, is from when I accept an order to when that order is dropped off.
Okay.
So all this time that I'm biking back to the order hotspot or waiting around for an order, I'm not actually being paid, even though I am doing something that is crucial to the job. So the apps don't have to pay this wage up front, but if at the end of a pay period, my earnings during those active hours isn't at least that minimum, then the companies adjust my pay and make up the difference. Despite this asterisk and how hours are counted, the new law has benefited delivery drivers.
Well, did you just hear what she just said? That's tremendous. So there's a minimum wage, a certain amount an hour for these delivery drivers. But if you're earning that by yourself, DoorDash doesn't pay it. So you could literally work your butt off, deliver 10 deliveries, and make the same amount as someone who only delivered 2 deliveries. And then that doesn't make any sense. Okay, bear with me. So you're working a certain block, and this block is very busy, right? So within an hour, you deliver 4 different food deliveries, and you make $20. So each one's a $5 delivery. Someone else could be working only 2 deliveries that are very far away, and they work the same active hour as you, but they only did 2 deliveries, drove a little longer, and then let's say, oh, well, they only made $10 from the 2 deliveries. DoorDash has to pay the difference for the minimum wage, so the 2 people could do different amounts of work in the same amount of time, but get paid exactly the same. That makes absolutely no sense. Do you know what that means? There is more incentive to do longer deliveries because you do less work and get paid the same, rather than busting your ass running around in a short area, grabbing this, deliver, grabbing this, deliver, grabbing this, deliver. Now, the one incentive would be maybe you'll get a tip for each one of those, right? So if that guy who did 4 deliveries in an hour got 4 tips, maybe he doubles his money. Maybe instead of the 20, that's the minimum wage, he makes 40 because he got a $5 tip for each delivery. So it's gambling. Literally, when you work these apps, you are gambling. You have no idea how much money you're going to make. What the hell?
Seeing how workers are making anything between 20 to 50% more.
The apps claimed that the law would force them to serve less areas and affect customers in restaurants. So they fought the minimum wage hard in court and appealed it, and once it was in place, the apps made big changes in response.
We're seeing companies who are retaliating, making harder for workers to receive tips.
Here's the easiest way to see what the apps have done in response to the new minimum wage. I'm
go.
placing identical orders, but one is in New York City and one is in Oklahoma where DoorDash hasn't changed anything. We're using DoorDash because it's the biggest delivery app, and Oklahoma because my sister lives there and I just needed somewhere to send this food. Ignoring the difference in meal price, which is just cost of living, there's a lot that the app has changed. It explicitly says that they removed the option to pre-tip in response to the new law. While over here, we have a tip automatically selected
Yep.
and messaging that says why tips are important. New
This
York
happened.
also
This has happened here because they instituted in Seattle, which is a town or two over from me. I'm in a suburb of Seattle. In Seattle, they have a minimum wage law for delivery apps. So when this went into effect back in January or February, all of a sudden it said that you will not tip before the delivery. You have the option to tip after the delivery if you want to, but you don't have to. While beforehand, it used to be you tip first. So here's the thing. A lot of people said, now, wait a minute. I don't want to tip after the delivery because the delivery is more expensive. Why? Because they instituted an extra fee. They started charging everyone like a $5 extra flat fee, saying this is to pay for the minimum wage increase. So now your food was already more expensive. Why are you going to tip the driver after? Right? So a lot of people changed it, but now what's happened here in Seattle is a lot of the restaurants are complaining, we're not getting as many orders anymore. People just aren't ordering. We had a ton of online orders, and now when you instituted this minimum wage for delivery people, no one orders online anymore because it's too expensive. So we've lost tons of business. The drivers are reporting that. They're saying, yeah, we used to make more money before the minimum wage increase because now no one's ordering online because it's too expensive. So now we lost out on business, and we're actually worse now than before you instituted the minimum wage. Pretty crazy. All right, let's keep going here.
this regulatory response fee, which is just
There it
passing
is.
the cost of the new law onto you, the customers.
Yep.
Now that a Dasher has been assigned, I can tip on the New York order, but I don't normally reopen the app after I've ordered, so I don't know that I would see this. Also, this little add tip button is so small, and once I do click it, the auto options are lower than the Oklahoma ones relative to order cost. It also only lets me tip once per order, whereas the Oklahoma order, I can add more of a tip later if I want to. It's a tale as old as time. A well-intentioned new government rule causes businesses to change their practices,
Yep.
which creates a whole mess of new issues and questions.
Yep.
This law also brings up the matter of independent contractors versus employees. Delivery workers here are still classified as independent contractors, just with extra minimum pay guarantees. But the idea of reclassification as employees and guaranteeing a minimum wage is spreading throughout the gig economy. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Massachusetts, and California have all recently considered laws around the classification of gig workers as employees, and several other states have considered or implemented extra protections and minimum pay for gig workers.
Yep, there was
even
it,
a new
Seattle.
federal law around gig worker classification that businesses are fighting hard. For the apps, all of this just means more hurdles to profitability and continuing day-to-day operations. So realistically, where do the apps go from here?
The more that you can batch orders, then you're able to actually make the economics work more favorably. Even exploring batching cross-category, picking up a food delivery order and then maybe an e-commerce order and batching those together and delivering them out.
Ryan also says that the big growth and money this year will be in the grocery delivery space because those orders are much easier logistically.
DoorDash is investing heavily in grocery delivery now, so everyone's coming at Instacart and coming at Walmart Spark.
The apps have another idea. Almost all of them have launched subscription services, which is the favored tactic among almost all companies looking to make their income a little more predictable. And of course, they're trying to cut out the piece that's making this all so hard, the labor. DoorDash is trying drone delivery, on a small scale for now. Uber Eats just started using self-driving cars to deliver. And Walmart is expanding its drone reach for grocery delivery. We just got an $8 order, guaranteed. No tip. All right, we're going to 7th Street Burger. This sucks because I'm so hungry.
So basically, when they get an order, it'll say, here's what your guaranteed pay is. No tip right now, but you may get a tip after the fact. Okay.
Thank you. Danielle, your lunch is coming. It's so close, it's a 3-minute bite. Oh, no, it's because there's 2 pickups. Now we have to go get Levain. Danielle, you need dessert? All right, fine. We'll go Levain, Danielle. Danielle, I'm here. Done. Finish. All right, I'm headed back to the office now. That was a crazy hard day. This job is so fast-paced. You're running around, you're trying to find the order at the restaurant, then you're at someone's apartment, you're trying to figure out where the elevator is, how to get upstairs, you know, you're talking to the doorman, you're navigating an office. It's a lot of work. I'm definitely rethinking every time I made the DoorDash driver come up instead of going to meet them downstairs, which would be much more helpful. I'm rethinking every time I didn't tip as much because the order was late, because that is realistically out of their control a lot of the time. Also, I definitely did not make the minimum wage today, so DoorDash is going to have to adjust my pay later.
Oh,
The
wow.
food delivery industry is still relatively young, but it's in a very tough spot right now. They've still never been profitable and have their ever-present labor issues. And now they have to figure out how to work with these laws, requiring them to change their business practices and
Okay. Well, that was fascinating. I just learned a ton more about these delivery services. Very interesting. So, in places where the minimum pay is instituted, there'd be more incentive to do less deliveries in that hour, but actively drive longer because you get paid the same. Huh. That actually makes a lot of sense. It does, because when I'm thinking about it, there's been times where my wife and I have ordered from a place that's close, and for some reason, it won't assign a delivery person. It takes forever. This is like not even a 5-minute away, like maybe a block, 2 blocks away. But, you know, it's a day we just want something fast. We're doing stuff in the house and order, right? And it won't show up. What happened? It's not assigning anyone. But then we'll order from a place that's further away, and it immediately gets assigned a driver. I think this is what it is. This minimum pay thing, that's what's going on. Huh. Interesting. All right. That was a very interesting watch. Thank you for watching DSP versus the Internet. I hope you're enjoying the show. See you in part 3 for more Ultra Member submissions.